I think I hit like 40 subscribers, so thank you for 40 subscribers. So guys, hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. So hit the subscribe button. So this time I'm gonna do this without talking. So enjoy the gameplay. So hope you guys have a fantastic day. Enjoy the gameplay.
We secured the first part of the drive and uploaded the information to Kane. Hendricks moved to sweep the wheelhouse. The howling wind told us we had to and quick. But of course, the superstorm hit sooner than expected. The barge ripped free and barreled towards us. And hang on for dear life. We'd been set to rendezvous at an abandoned police station, but we were off route. We cut through the flooded subway to save time. With the dead cleared out, we moved toward our rendezvous. Turns out we weren't the only living things in there. A vulture got the drop on us, determined to reduce us to scrap metal. He'd hit a big payday with us cornered.
You were a payday to him? How so?
We were dead killers. You break us down to spare parts, you can fetch a pretty penny on the black market.
But you were there to fight the dead. You were an ally.
Maybe in 2070, when we were the saviors of mankind. By 2075, everybody wanted a piece of us. This guy would have gotten his share, too. But Kane did her part to make sure that didn't happen.
She was well trained. Was she CIA? Winslow Accord?
She was just someone who was always in the right place, at the right time. Before we could move on the Black Station, we had other problems.
What had gone wrong?
We hadn't taken the scavengers into... account. They'd figured out they had dead killers in their midst. Kane told us they had a comms relay ahead. If we scramble them, it could lead the vultures away from the Black Station, at least long enough for us to get what we needed.
So much for maintaining a low profile, I suppose.
What did I tell you? The thing about dead killers is there's always a plan B. You don't create the problems, just the solutions. You adapt to what's thrown at you.
Adapt or die.
Yeah. Adapt or die. We plan to regroup with Kane outside of Chinatown. With their comms scrambled, we had one less nuisance to deal with at the Black Station. Now to get the drive and get the hell out of this shithole.
You felt haunted coming back to this city.
The feeling had latched onto me at the safe house. Like I was being watched. Something had their eyes on me.
Something, not someone.
And I just felt something pulling me, guiding me. I couldn't shake it. Our rendezvous with Kane was just ahead. By the time we rendezvoused with Kane, the dead were crawling all over the street.
What was Kane's plan?
Hit him in the gullet, then bag and tag. Gotta admit, the girl wasn't afraid of a fight. She seemed to welcome it, relish it.
Like yourself.
Like a berserker. Like a dead killer.
What did you find in the Black Station?
Slaughtered CIA staff. We weren't the only ones looking for the data drives. It was a gruesome scene. Kane quickly assembled the drive.
What did you learn? Did you find the information on Deimos?
We found a dossier. A diary, really. A living testament of what happened 15 years ago, and in the years since. It explained Project Corvus, a CIA mind control experiment. These scientists had combined two ancient biochemical compounds, Nova-6 and something called Element 115. They fused them together, created a chemical cocktail, and injected it through their test subjects' DNI. They wanted to control them.
Control them?
Those corpses, below coalescence in Project Corvus, they weren't patients. They were prisoners, the criminally insane. The scientists believed they could make them well again, make people better.
But instead, they opened the gateway.
A gateway to Malum. There's another dimension filled with absolute evil. It sounds crazy even saying it now, but they opened it not realizing what they'd done, and they let him through.
Deimos.
Deimos, demigod of dread and terror. He caused the Coalescence disaster, unleashed 6115 upon the world, creating the undead that roamed the earth. There were details on Taylor's team. They were working for Deimos. Helped him trigger Armageddon. There was also other information on his sister, Dolos, demigoddess of trickery and deception. Deimos, he didn't like her very much.
And the researcher? Did he have a name? Who wrote this document?
Yes, it was... Wait. Holy shit. Dr. Salim. It said Dr. Salim. It was you. You wrote the dossier on Deimos. You were the man behind Project Corvus. Why didn't you tell me? You created Project Corvus, wrote the report. You pulled me along like you had no clue what I was talking about.
If I had told you, the impact would not have been the same. You know that. That you could not recall is no fault of mine.
After the Black Station, we had to find you. Find out what you knew.
I was in Cairo at the time. Your friend, Khalil.
He brought you to Ramsey Station, humanity's last holdout in Egypt. We knew who Deimos was, where he was from, but we didn't know why. He'd taken over the world, but to do what? To find out why, we had to talk to you. The pieces were coming together. Virus 6115, Taylor's team, the undead. It all came back to Deimos. All we needed was you. Hendricks was unhinged. The idea his friends betrayed mankind to help a demigod. The concept alone was insane, let alone his friends' involvement. Kane was in it to the end. By now, she was as obsessed with stopping Deimos as we were. We weren't ready for Cairo, no matter what we thought. This place. If there was ever a place that was hell on Earth, this was it. It wasn't just the city. The entirety of northern Africa had fallen to the undead. The walls were covered with memories of the dead, those taken by 6115, lost to this wasteland, the desert for the undead. It was the last place on Earth you'd want to be, but you chose to hide there. Why?
For that very reason, I hoped no one would come for me.
Why? What were you running from?
From what you sought, Deimos.
Khalil was waiting. He was holding you in an interrogation room.
How was Khalil? Happy to see you.
It wasn't a warm welcome. As far as he was concerned, we owed him one for grabbing you. More than a few men gave their lives to bring you in. He hoped it was worth it.
He was angry?
He was tired. Tired of fighting a losing battle. Khalil was a realist. He'd fight to the death for country. But he knew what was coming.
And what was coming?
Extinction. The undead changed everything. The NRC were hit first and hardest. We saw that in Ethiopia. The damage done by the dead didn't even take into account what the water wars did. When the continent dried up and the Nile River Coalition took war to Egypt over the Nile, the last water supply. They were so busy fighting they didn't realize it too had dried up. But the rise of the undead? How do you fight an enemy that doesn't need water? Khalil's rage wasn't misplaced. It wasn't personal. He was just barely holding on.
What did you hope to learn from speaking to me?
How to stop Deimos. Everyone has a weakness. The whole base was on edge. You could feel it in the air. The dead were moving on Ramses. An assault was imminent. Khalil didn't know how much time we had with you. Hendricks demanded to know why we weren't informed.
How did Khalil respond to his anger?
WA command was down. How was he meant to get his message through? Besides, they still had their dead system. They used to knock enemy aircraft out of the sky, but now they were used to eviscerate the undead. If any came too close, the laser cannons would take them out. Khalil led us to interrogation. He warned us our time was limited. No telling when the dead might attack. But if we could get answers out of you, maybe we could find a way to fight back. You certainly weren't too happy to see us.
You say it like I had a choice in the matter.
With no time, we needed you to be willing to talk. The truth serum would make you relax, more willing to divulge. Hendricks told us to take a walk. He asked about Taylor and Deimos. He wanted you to connect the dots.
And I told him Deimos controlled them. Your friend Bishop was correct. There was a brain manipulating the undead. It was Deimos. Deimos realized he could access a person's DNA. He could possess them, inhabit them, consume them. He didn't need to turn them.
Like puppets on strings.
The undead are mindless creatures, but Taylor's team, Gojulan, anyone with DNI, they could be hosts. They were slaves to do his bidding.
Hendricks wanted to know why. We both did.
For many years I had studied Deimos and his dimension Malum, a place of unspeakable evil. He had been pulled to Earth, yanked from his existence by accident. Trapped here, he saw opportunity to enslave humanity and use them to wage an unholy war against Dolos.
The demigoddess. His sister. That was it? We were just a chess piece? Our entire existence was just...
A pawn in a much larger game in a universe far bigger than you realize. Humanity is an anthill. Deimos and Dolos are two children fighting over the magnifying glass. But Hendricks was desperate. He wanted to know how to kill Deimos.
You told him he couldn't.
How does one kill a god? You can't. The only way to defeat him, the only way to sever his control over the undead, for Bishop Surum to work and save humanity, was to send him back to Malum.
And to do that, we needed to open the gateway.
As we are doing now, by walking through your memories.
The assault on Ramses was beginning. The base was about to be overrun. We were failed. Time to take the fight to the death. We weren't ready for the station assault. I don't know how the dead got in. Maybe an abandoned tunnel, an infected civilian, or maybe the vultures let them through. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter. Egyptian army came over comms. They'd never seen a horde this size move on the station. If we had any chance to stop them, we needed to reinforce the eastern checkpoint, a narrow passageway the dead would need to traverse to reach Ramses. Cairo. She was a city on fire. Except for the Egyptian army and a smattering of civilians hidden away. She'd fallen to the dead. Khalil didn't say it, but I could hear it in his voice. He knew this was the last stand. If they lost this battle, they'd lose the city.
What was Khalil's plan?
The undead were moving on the eastern checkpoint. A clear shot at Ramses Station. The Egyptian army had rigged explosives below the street, but there were a few support columns we would need to take out first. We had the spike launcher for that.
You talked of his desperation, his total acknowledgement of futility. Yet here he was, staying and fighting.
What else was he going to do? If it wasn't today, it was tomorrow, or the day after that. We lost the war. The moment Diaz opened the quarantine zones, the moment Deimos entered our dimension, one way or another, death was coming for us all. But while we still could, we would fight. And right now, we had a checkpoint to defend. It was a simple, straightforward plan. Except... our VTOL was shot out of the sky. The mobile blockade fell early. It wasn't just the undead gunning for us. Cairo was a no-man's land, filled with the undead, rogue robotics, and scavengers. They were all converging on our position. If we were gonna pull this off, we didn't have time to fuck around. I grabbed the spike launcher and told Kane at HQ to locate the support columns for us to blow. We detonated the last support column. We had to get back behind the wall so we could blow the street. Our triggerman got hit. I had to get up there and detonate. I told Hendricks I needed a moment. Good thing Hendricks still had our back. Idea what was about to happen. Egyptian Army Command came over comms. A scavenger had blown a hole through Sophia Square, and the undead were pouring through, headed for Ramses. I told Khalil we'd take care of the square. I gave Hendricks a hand opening the VTOL hatch. I heard screams. There was someone still alive.
You went in to save this man? The odds of his survival could not have been great. You yourself said no one was getting out alive.
Does that matter? I guess it was Khalil who changed my mind. There were so few of us left. If there was a chance, any chance, I'd take it.
Strange. Even with all odds stacked against you, you tried to help this man. He clung to life without hope, and still you tried to save him.
Turns out it didn't matter. He didn't survive. It would only be a matter of time before he turned and joined the Horde. No time to stop and mourn. If I did that, I'd end up joining him. And we weren't going down just yet. Cephia Square was a total snafu. Undead, rogue robotics, everything in the kitchen sink wanted a piece of us. It didn't take long for the Vultures to drop a second ASP in the area. It was only a matter of time before a malfunctioning ASP arrived, ready to take out everyone and everything. We cleared the plaza, but something was wrong. I could hear it.
What did you hear?
Nothing. And that was the problem. It took us a moment to realize what had happened. Something had taken out the dead system. One of the scavengers, maybe a malfunctioning biped. We saw reinforcements fly in, but it was too late. Khalil tried to reach Egyptian command. All we heard were screams. Ramses Station had fallen to the dead. We got out of the open. Khalil, he'd reached a breaking point. No mistaking that look. That look of defeat, anger, frustration, hopelessness. You try to sympathize, you try to comfort. Doesn't matter. Then Kane came over comms. She'd picked up the location of Sarah Hall, another of Taylor's team. Her signal popped back up on the grid. We had traced her to Kebeshet, the sandy ruins of Cairo's Garden City. I told Khalil if there was a sliver of hope, we needed to catch Hall and find Taylor. If we did, and found a way to send Deimos back to Malum, we could undo all of this.
And Hendricks?
His mind was melting. I still didn't know what was sparking his behavior. He didn't want to go after Hall. I said he didn't have a say in the matter. He didn't like that.
He attacked you.
I told you, it wasn't him. It was that look in his eyes, like Gojulan, like Moretti, like Diaz. He wasn't buying this interdimensional bullshit. And why should he?
What did he say to you?
Salim lies.
He didn't think opening the portal would save us. It would destroy us. The last time it opened, evil came through. Why would this time be different? He said Deimos was trying to trick us. He said you were lying to us. Are you? This is wrong. This is all wrong. You said opening the gateway would save humanity. It was the only way to defeat Deimos and send him back to Malum. But opening the gateway would let the forces of evil through, allow them to conquer Earth, enslave us. Wait, we didn't meet at Ramses Station. That didn't happen. You're feeding me false memories.
Be careful, my child. Tread lightly, or you are liable to offend me.
We contacted Khalil, inquired about you. He said you were dead. You died some time ago. I saw you die. When I was with Hall, inside her mind, she showed me the truth. Who are you really, Doctor? Deimos was going to open the gateway. He needed the demons of Malum to enslave Earth for the battle against Dolos. We didn't know what he had planned, but we had Sarah Hall, her signal tracing to Kebeshet.
You didn't think it odd that her signal appeared? After years of absence.
There wasn't time to think about it. But if we got her, we could find Taylor and decipher Deimos' plan. We had no idea we were being baited for a trap. She was waiting. She knew we were coming. Deimos was using Taylor to open the gateway. If we were gonna find him, we needed to take Hall down and interface with her. I'd interfaced before. I knew how it worked. It's a memory retrieval, an info dump, a lethal procedure. But this was different. She begged me to do it. Interfacing with someone is opening a portal to their mind, their darkest thoughts and desires. But this was her deep subconscious. This wasn't supposed to happen.
Because the deep subconscious is more than that. It is the gateway, the portal, to Malum. The subconscious hides your fears, your doubts. It's the most primal version of you. It's what you run from. And by running, you persevere in life. But what if you embrace the subconscious? How do you think I opened the gateway?
But you said to open the gateway, I had to relive my memories.
No. I told you to take me to the start of your journey. The journey into the depths of your fears. You chose to relive your memories. So tell me, what do you fear?
Please, why are you doing this? Why are you scrambling my mind? Don't make me do this!
You don't have a choice. You haven't had one since you picked up that child. Since you embraced Sarah's fear. Lead me to the depths. What did Sarah want you to see?
Project Corvus, 2060. The day of the Coalescence disaster. Sarah could feel Deimos coursing through her veins, her mind, the fabrics of her soul. He knew everything about her, and she knew everything about him. She learned the disaster wasn't an accident. But that means...
Well, I did what had to be done. This Cold War, the Winslow Accord, and Common Defense Pact had split the world in two. I saw humanity destroy itself. But in the lab, I saw truth. I saw peace. I saw Malum. A way to unite the world against an enemy greater than themselves. I saw Deimos.
You did this? You opened the gateway. You brought Deimos here.
I brought mankind's savior here. After many years, I realized opening the portal wasn't enough. With Deimos trapped in the server room, man had not yielded as I had hoped. I had to incentivize progress.
You created the disturbance that sent Taylor's team there?
His undead servants could only do so much. Humans with DNI, Deimos could use them to walk the earth.
Hall told me that she had no idea what they were getting into, but they had to follow and interfacing with the location's primary systems in the server room below. We were built to be invincible. Our DNI let us interface with systems in dangerous environments and upload information. We created the very opportunity for Deimos to leave the server room.
He was a prisoner, with no way to expand humanity's horizon.
We were vehicles for his transportation.
That makes it sound so cold. This is for the good of humanity. Tell me, what did Sarah fear?
Failure. At the Academy, she studied the battles of World War II. The bravery of these men. She feared she could never match their heroism. She feared she didn't have real courage. She ran from it. She had nightmares of Bastogne. As she entered her subconscious, she gave into fear, let it pull her away. I followed her. Deep within her mind, there had to be a way to save her. I followed her. Deep within her mind, there had to be a way to save her. The world began to fall apart. We heard his voice. Deimos.
Sarah, listen to the sound of my voice. I will have my army and my kingdom. All that remains is her sacrifice.
He was trying to consume her, and he wasn't about to let me stop him. Stretched between our dimension and his. She warned me to turn back, to let Deimos take her. I told her I'd stay with her. I'd see it to the end. I asked her what happened after Coalescence.
You were deep within her subconscious, at the threshold of another dimension. You seemed to embrace the journey.
You think I wasn't scared? I was terrified. There was no way to make up for what I had done. But I had to try. From the moment she was possessed, Hall became a passenger in her own body, a witness unable to intervene as Deimos began using her for his purpose. He wanted them to go to the Black Station. He wanted to find you, to meet the man who'd given him his freedom. He slaughtered the staff. Ravaged them. Why did he kill them?
I wasn't there. He was upset. And he wasn't happy to learn of the documentation of his existence. It was not time for his big reveal, his masterpiece. He was angry. When he found the data drives, he couldn't access them. Part of the drive was missing. He couldn't purge the information as he hoped.
The piece Hendricks and I recovered from the docks. Someone had hidden them from him. Someone knew he would come. Someone was trying to stop him. Deimos didn't want Sarah divulging his secrets to us either. He ripped us from that memory. We were in Foy. I didn't just see fear in Sarah's eyes anymore. I saw admiration. The longer I stayed, the stronger she became. The more she actually believed she had a chance. She told me to follow her. There was something she wanted me to see. Something she wanted to tell me. There was a chapel ahead of us. Hall told me to follow her there. But to get to Hall, we had to get through the Tiger Tank first. I tried to approach her. But Deimos had other ideas. He was desperate to separate us and evict me from her mind. He wanted her, and I was getting in his way. She told me to approach her. She wanted me to understand.
Couldn't understand. She only saw how it ended. Humans are obsessed with beginnings and ends. They become filler. Life becomes filler. She tried to fight the voice in her head that had given her the ultimate gift.
The ultimate gift? Deimos was controlling her.
Relinquishing control is the ultimate gift. Free of choice, free of pressure.
You're
free of
insane.
No. Humanity is insane. You asked her to help you find Taylor. Where did she take you next?
Deimos needed Taylor to open the gateway, so I had to know how, had to know what Deimos was planning. The aquifers. Sarah told me this was their fortress in the sand, their FOB for years. Deimos couldn't access the intelligence at the Singapore Black Station. He couldn't locate you, so they hid here, waiting for their moment. She took me there. There's something I don't get. You made this happen. You've pushed for the annihilation of Earth. But Deimos wasn't using you. You weren't his puppet. What's in this for you? Why are you doing this? Are you an undead sympathizer?
No, my child. Dr. Salim was not a sympathizer. He was so much less than that. He was so much more insignificant than that.
Was? Wait. What do you mean, was?
I must say, I'm impressed with how delusional you've become. You had completely forgotten this memory.
They found you. They tortured you for information, but This doesn't make any sense. You were an ally. You enabled him, freed him.
Dr. Salim was no ally. He was a tool. An instrument I enabled. He was a blind idealist believing he could make the world a better place. That I could save humanity, that he could save humanity. He thought I'd found him to thank him. Me. A god. Thank a mortal. I found him to seize power from him.
No.
Even now you still hide from the truth. Corvus had been destroyed in Singapore. I needed it to open the gateway. That was why I had kept Salim alive. He worked with a colleague, Kruger. And they built me a new Corvus at Coalescence headquarters in Zurich. One which I could use to open the gateway. So I had no further need for the doctor. She knew what was coming. All that remained was her sacrifice. For her to join my ranks and eternal damnation under my command. I am humanity's salvation. A savior giving purpose to a lost species that deserves far less. I am Deimos.
The tree. I've seen it before. The entrance to Malum.
Tell me, what do you fear? You don't fear the undead. You thrown yourself against insurmountable odds as if you had a death wish. As if you were trying to escape. Is it failure? Is it life? No. You fear your mistakes, your past. Your greatest fear is the memory that haunts you.
You awaited her sacrifice. She wanted me to stop you. She wanted me to end it. To deny you her offering. If she offered herself, she'd give you what you wanted. The only way to deny you was to kill her.
You denied me my prize. It was time to send you back to your world. You must know how this ends. This ends with your sacrifice. But now I had you. I passed from Hall's mind to your own. Slowly, I would work my way through you. Sarah may have told you who I was and what I was planning, but none of that mattered because now I had you. But you were strange. I tried to seize control, but something pushed back, something fought me.
They located Taylor. He was being held at Lotus Towers, run by a man named Hakim, an undead sympathizer who would get you out of Cairo. I told Kane we had to hurry. We had to hurry if we were going to stop you. But there was something we needed to know. The data drives, how did Kane know they were split up? Was she the one who separated the drives? Why? She said there was much we didn't know, but we would in time. We had to trust her. We had to get to Lotus Towers.
Oh, so guys, think I need to stop here. So guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. So hit that subscribe button. So sorry about the death. So hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. So this is where I stop. Peace out, guys.